Don't they ride normally? Don't they ride normally? I will help you review the vocabulary in today's lesson. I will help you review the vocabulary in today's lesson. The librarian should arrive in 2 minutes. The librarian should arrive in 2 minutes. Won't I yell in 2 weeks? Won't I yell in 2 weeks? Is it unsolvable? Is it unsolvable? I'm not sure I can do this, but I'll try. I'm not sure I can do this, but I'll try. Was his brother an environmentalist? Was his brother an environmentalist? I'm hopeful that we can fix our relationship and stay friends. I'm hopeful that we can fix our relationship and stay friends. I can be a driver every year. I can be a driver every year. Was soon under control. Was soon under control. Also, don't forget to bring your ID. Also, don't forget to bring your ID. English is also one of the official languages of the European Union. English is also one of the official languages of the European Union. I go to the library to study. I go to the library to study. I can be a housewife. I can be a housewife. Would not forget. Would not forget. They will reply soon. They will reply soon. Can you recommend a good restaurant in town? Can you recommend a good restaurant in town? Even though it's hot outside, I still plan to go swimming. Even though it's hot outside, I still plan to go swimming. You should consider all options before making a decision. You should consider all options before making a decision. Do we have to discuss it later? Do we have to discuss it later? His father is a teacher. His father is a teacher. They could not touch at sunset. They could not touch at sunset. They were firefighters before. They were firefighters before. Didn't she sing soon? Didn't she sing soon? May I have your baggage claim ticket, please? May I have your baggage claim ticket, please? Fortnight you didn't reach out. Fortnight you didn't reach out. An hour later he would not feed. An hour later he would not feed. His wife is a detective. His wife is a detective. Will be listed annually. Will be listed annually. Won't it push last year? Won't it push last year? White walls make the room appear larger. White walls make the room appear larger. Isn't he a civil engineer in 5 minutes? Isn't he a civil engineer in 5 minutes? They can lobby next year. They can lobby next year. His stepmother is a civil engineer. His stepmother is a civil engineer. Didn't they post? Didn't they post? We weren't analysts for 10 years. We weren't analysts for 10 years. His colleague is a lieutenant. His colleague is a lieutenant. Shouldn't I be sure after 3 midnight? Shouldn't I be sure after 3 midnight? Can't they demand? Can't they demand? It does not work normally. It does not work normally. Anyone can participate in the competition. Anyone can participate in the competition. Won't he be a scientist in 5 seconds? Won't he be a scientist in 5 seconds? Our aunt was on the jury. Our aunt was on the jury. Don't I always fit? Don't I always fit? Were their children lawyers? Were their children lawyers? Am I not going to be a businessman next year? Am I not going to be a businessman next year? Then at 4 a.m. you will clean up. Then at 4 a.m. you will clean up. They report at dawn. They report at dawn. I'm going to church. I'm going to church. The boy was playing with the toy car. The boy was playing with the toy car. Should I take it now? Should I take it now? He goes to the zoo on the weekends. He goes to the zoo on the weekends. Will they be alchemists sometimes? Will they be alchemists sometimes? Can I predict 3 weeks ahead? Can I predict 3 weeks ahead? Never hated the cloud before. Never hated the cloud before. I will never blame you for what happened. I will never blame you for what happened. Is my stepsister a pianist? Is my stepsister a pianist? Are they factory workers? Are they factory workers? Can they imagine the sun rising? Can they imagine the sun rising? Shouldn't they be marketing every month? Shouldn't they be marketing every month? Our brothers were preachers. Our brothers were preachers. Don't you ever lie? Don't you ever lie? They may not have known before. They may not have known before. Neighbor hematologist. Neighbor hematologist. Is your grandfather a vocalist? Is your grandfather a vocalist? When we reach the summit, we will have climbed for 2 hours. When we reach the summit, we will have climbed for 2 hours. Her mother-in-law is a janitor. Her mother-in-law is a janitor. My name is Jim. My name is Jim. Will I never invite? Will I never invite? Is our aunt watching? Is our aunt watching? I'm the economist after 5 p.m. I'm the economist after 5 p.m. It can be published after 4 weeks. It can be published after 4 weeks. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. Shouldn't he be a dermatologist every day? Shouldn't he be a dermatologist every day? Did he check? Did he check? Was it our stepdad fundraiser? Was it our stepdad fundraiser? We are playing 2 years later. We are playing 2 years later. Will they calculate at sunrise? Will they calculate at sunrise? Does not receive daily points. Does not receive daily points. Wouldn't he argue every day? Wouldn't he argue every day? Do we have to discuss it later? Do we have to discuss it later? The extra fit and fair guy is my favorite extra. The extra fit and fair guy is my favorite extra. Cannot teach at sunrise. Cannot teach at sunrise. We did not disclose. We did not disclose. Should he play after 1 year? Should he play after 1 year? Relatives were deans. Relatives were deans. I don't notice anything in particular about it. I don't notice anything in particular about it. Is our mother a lawyer? Is our mother a lawyer? Will not be selected every week. Will not be selected every week. I have a pain in my side. I have a pain in my side. Didn't he specify then? Didn't he specify then? Was taking a step. Was taking a step. 1 evening ago we were not interested. 1 evening ago we were not interested. Should you usually be a doctor? Should you usually be a doctor? Yes, we have a shuttle to the airport. Yes, we have a shuttle to the airport. Will he become an artist in 3 months? Will he become an artist in 3 months? We are not referees every year. We are not referees every year. What is the value of the items you are carrying? What is the value of the items you are carrying? Did we suppress? Did we suppress? My wife is a carpenter. My wife is a carpenter. Didn't I talk? Didn't I talk? Both parties must come to a mutual agreement. Both parties must come to a mutual agreement. Are his stepbrothers clowns? Are his stepbrothers clowns? You cannot guess. You cannot guess. Could you improve one night earlier? Could you improve one night earlier? Your friend was the captain. Your friend was the captain. Sometimes he didn't understand. Sometimes he didn't understand. Could this be the best decision for the company? Could this be the best decision for the company? Shouldn't he accept at dusk? Shouldn't he accept at dusk? Your children were nurses. Your children were nurses. Would you like to sit inside or outside? Would you like to sit inside or outside? I don't want to lose my magazines for the lost. I don't want to lose my magazines for the lost. Grandfather midwife. Grandfather midwife. Could he believe a minute ago? Could he believe a minute ago? They could not start in the afternoon. They could not start in the afternoon. It's not an investment every year. It's not an investment every year. Is their uncle a cook? Is their uncle a cook? Should we do sports announcers at night? Should we do sports announcers at night? Shouldn't we ever be bounty hunters? Shouldn't we ever be bounty hunters? Noon may not threaten. Noon may not threaten. Can never learn. Can never learn. We never sit. We never sit. We should not experience. We should not experience. Are you writing in 5 years? Are you writing in 5 years? I find English to be a very interesting language. I find English to be a very interesting language. Were his cousins congressmen? Were his cousins congressmen? Not yelling after 2 weeks? Not yelling after 2 weeks? My nephew is a musician. My nephew is a musician. They should remember. They should remember. Will clean. Will clean. Should I go to the pediatrician at sunrise? Should I go to the pediatrician at sunrise? I will not cry next year. I will not cry next year. Do they sing sometimes? Do they sing sometimes? Is your mother an astronaut? Is your mother an astronaut? They didn't call before at 5 a.m. They didn't call before at 5 a.m. Is your nephew a lantern? Is your nephew a lantern? I always collect Christmas cards from my friends and family. I always collect Christmas cards from my friends and family. I don't yawn often. I don't yawn often. He's a Tyler soon. He's a Tyler soon. They would not insist. They would not insist. We can never succeed. We can never succeed. Is your uncle a factory worker? Is your uncle a factory worker? Can it be supported every month? Can it be supported every month? I will visit my family. I will visit my family. We will be getting ready for our presentation next month. We will be getting ready for our presentation next month. Reduces. Reduces. Was my sister a beekeeper? Was my sister a beekeeper? I do not feel good. I do not feel good. The boy was playing with the toy car. The boy was playing with the toy car. My wife is a glazier. My wife is a glazier. The sun rises from the east. The sun rises from the east. After 5 months, you cannot control it. After 5 months, you cannot control it. Shouldn't he always kiss? Shouldn't he always kiss? Can you be a curator then? Can you be a curator then? Not a civil engineer in 4 weeks? Not a civil engineer in 4 weeks? The team was winning by a hair's margin. The team was winning by a hair's margin. 5 years ago he could have suspected. 5 years ago he could have suspected. I rarely would. I rarely would. The English language has many interesting vocabulary. The English language has many interesting vocabulary. Will I propose at twilight? Will I propose at twilight? Is your grandfather a bartender? Is your grandfather a bartender? Still, there are some areas that need improvement. Still, there are some areas that need improvement. Would he be an ambassador every month? Would he be an ambassador every month? Is your nephew an innkeeper? Is your nephew an innkeeper? Can I start? Can I start? They sang in the car. They sang in the car. Weren't we always masseuses? Weren't we always masseuses? Were we monthly tilers? Were we monthly tilers? Always understandable. Always understandable. You don't kill after 2 nights. You don't kill after 2 nights. I'm not sure if I believe you or not. I'm not sure if I believe you or not. Have you served recently? Have you served recently? He played football in the park. He played football in the park. Was her daughter an illusionist? Was her daughter an illusionist? Her stepdaughter was a maid. Her stepdaughter was a maid. This is very difficult. This is very difficult. Should you focus? Should you focus? Should they talk? Should they talk? Our grandchildren are foremen. Our grandchildren are foremen. Not every year. Not every year. Was your wife a pharmacist? Was your wife a pharmacist? Will you link in 4 seconds? Will you link in 4 seconds? His relatives were filmmakers. His relatives were filmmakers. Shouldn't sing normally. Shouldn't sing normally. I don't notice anything special about the subject at hand. I don't notice anything special about the subject at hand. Should I write? Should I write? We stood in the rain and waited for the bus. We stood in the rain and waited for the bus. Should not question. Should not question. Does your hotel have Wi-Fi? Does your hotel have Wi-Fi? The light inside the building was dim. The light inside the building was dim. I don't feel normal. I don't feel normal. The stepdaughter's hairdresser. The stepdaughter's hairdresser. Every year they kick a kick. Every year they kick a kick. I was surprised to find such a large spider in my drawer. I was surprised to find such a large spider in my drawer. They go to the theater on special occasions. They go to the theater on special occasions. Will there be a ballerina at sunset? Will there be a ballerina at sunset? My children are mediators. My children are mediators. 2 I will work. 2 I will work. Will they wear it after 5 years? Will they wear it after 5 years? You rejected the collector. You rejected the collector. Does it hang monthly? Does it hang monthly? I don't know if I can trust you. I don't know if I can trust you. He was directed to the exit by the security guard. He was directed to the exit by the security guard. Can't they be businesswomen in the night? Can't they be businesswomen in the night? The answer is certain. The answer is certain. Can I cover? Can I cover? Is your stepmother a golfer? Is your stepmother a golfer? Our menu has been carefully prepared for different tastes. Our menu has been carefully prepared for different tastes. Takes 2 weeks. Takes 2 weeks. Should the librarian arrive in 3 days? Should the librarian arrive in 3 days? He could have applied 2 days ago. He could have applied 2 days ago. Should not take. Should not take. They had to advance through the crowd. They had to advance through the crowd. Can't they assume? Can't they assume? I will buy a new dress. I will buy a new dress. He plays the guitar every day. He plays the guitar every day. Our son was a sociologist. Our son was a sociologist. If it's not dangerous, I'll go out. If it's not dangerous, I'll go out. Your grandmother was a neurologist. Your grandmother was a neurologist. I can get it often. I can get it often. Is our daughter free? Is our daughter free? I wear glasses. I wear glasses. He has breakfast on the weekends. He has breakfast on the weekends. Can't we calculate? Can't we calculate? It can be prepared in an afternoon. It can be prepared in an afternoon. Do you usually? Do you usually? The river is under the bridge. The river is under the bridge. The company was founded in the late 1990s. The company was founded in the late 1990s. I don't have any friends and I feel really lonely. I don't have any friends and I feel really lonely. Was his grandfather an acrobat? Was his grandfather an acrobat? Should I make a reservation for the restaurant tonight? Should I make a reservation for the restaurant tonight? They may not always paint. They may not always paint. Is my brother a conductor? Is my brother a conductor? Your relatives were hunters. Your relatives were hunters. Should you quote? Should you quote? Are you married? Are you married? He goes to the park to play. He goes to the park to play. I don't notice anything special about the example. I don't notice anything special about the example. Aren't they painters later on? Aren't they painters later on? Was your half-sister a researcher? Was your half-sister a researcher? Should he understand that silence is necessary? Should he understand that silence is necessary? It can't be missed often. It can't be missed often. Wasn't he the captain at dusk? Wasn't he the captain at dusk? I will visit my family. I will visit my family. Is your stepdaughter a receptionist? Is your stepdaughter a receptionist? Do they start after 4 seconds? Do they start after 4 seconds? You are getting better. You are getting better. He wrote every day. He wrote every day. Do you have to analyze? Do you have to analyze? My mother was a cardiologist. My mother was a cardiologist. She will sing in the choir next week. She will sing in the choir next week. Doesn't he lie after 4 months? Doesn't he lie after 4 months? The drop in temperature caused a sudden increase in demand for heating oil. The drop in temperature caused a sudden increase in demand for heating oil. 3. I am not sure I can do this. 3. I am not sure I can do this. They are producers. They are producers. Next weekend we will go hiking in the mountains. Next weekend we will go hiking in the mountains. They may not have known before. They may not have known before. I'll go forward in 2 weeks. I'll go forward in 2 weeks. I will not kiss at noon. I will not kiss at noon. Can never learn. Can never learn. You should choose. You should choose. We weren't analysts for 10 years. We weren't analysts for 10 years. You become a carpenter in 4 days. You become a carpenter in 4 days. Am I not staying? Am I not staying? He is never a janitor. He is never a janitor. I have a lot of strength. I have a lot of strength. Were his grandparents salesmen? Were his grandparents salesmen? Every year they kick a kick. Every year they kick a kick. I hope you remember how much I care about you and our relationship. I hope you remember how much I care about you and our relationship. Was he a nighttime inspector? Was he a nighttime inspector? I'm going to college. I'm going to college. Should not follow. Should not follow. Shouldn't I be an investor then? Shouldn't I be an investor then? Is our father a director? Is our father a director? Our cousins are announcers. Our cousins are announcers. Rarely promises. Rarely promises. Could he never be a servant? Could he never be a servant? Can you manage 2 weeks? Can you manage 2 weeks? Was your nephew the mayor? Was your nephew the mayor? Are we usually race car drivers? Are we usually race car drivers? We weren't analysts for 10 years. We weren't analysts for 10 years. Our working hours are from 7 o'clock to 1800 from Monday to Friday. Our working hours are from 7 o'clock to 1800 from Monday to Friday. We shouldn't kiss now. We shouldn't kiss now. Did you appreciate it from time to time? Did you appreciate it from time to time? Can you exclude soon? Can you exclude soon? Were they used every day? Were they used every day? I want to go to the movie. I want to go to the movie. You nurse. You nurse. She looks happy in the photos. She looks happy in the photos. Must be an economist every year. Must be an economist every year. We weren't analysts for 10 years. We weren't analysts for 10 years. Don't they get it after 4 years? Don't they get it after 4 years? May I have your baggage claim ticket, please? May I have your baggage claim ticket, please? This is a huge pain. This is a huge pain. Next year you shouldn't notice. Next year you shouldn't notice. Your grandpa is the babysitter. Your grandpa is the babysitter. We are not important every month. We are not important every month. It was like, I am going to the cinema. I am going to the cinema. Invest in 2 a.m. later? Invest in 2 a.m. later? The cage is too small for the bird to fly. The cage is too small for the bird to fly. Should deny it. Should deny it. Can we get fit? Can we get fit? I don't feel normal. I don't feel normal. Your uncle is a businesswoman. Your uncle is a businesswoman. Can he answer at sunset? Can he answer at sunset? We don't believe. We don't believe. They swam across the lake to the opposite shore. They swam across the lake to the opposite shore. Doesn't it design after 3 seconds? Doesn't it design after 3 seconds? He can come at noon. He can come at noon. Are her siblings interpreters? Are her siblings interpreters? Can be selected immediately. Can be selected immediately. Can the industrialist be annual? Can the industrialist be annual? It's on the news tonight. It's on the news tonight. Could they be innkeepers later? Could they be innkeepers later? It should improve after 2 weeks. It should improve after 2 weeks. I can reply after 3 days. I can reply after 3 days. After the meeting is over, we will go out for dinner. After the meeting is over, we will go out for dinner. Is your half-sister a tall sailor? Is your half-sister a tall sailor? We were named every month. We were named every month. Should I enter later? Should I enter later? They were completed at sunrise. They were completed at sunrise. I have a fever. I have a fever. Will I never be a politician? Will I never be a politician? Could analyze. Could analyze. I couldn't meet. I couldn't meet. I taught at noon. I taught at noon. They would not meet at sunrise. They would not meet at sunrise. It didn't build 1 hour ago. It didn't build 1 hour ago. We have to be programmers in 1 week. We have to be programmers in 1 week. I will go home. I will go home. Don't they lose after 4 minutes? Don't they lose after 4 minutes? Can they leave now? Can they leave now? He needs to be beaten occasionally. He needs to be beaten occasionally. Isn't he a translator after 5 centuries? Isn't he a translator after 5 centuries? You will be refreshed after 3 minutes. You will be refreshed after 3 minutes. Can't you help right away? Can't you help right away? Won't they talk in 2 minutes? Won't they talk in 2 minutes? Now I will need to check his blood pressure and pulse. Now I will need to check his blood pressure and pulse. Was his brother-in-law a swimmer? Was his brother-in-law a swimmer? I cannot breathe. I cannot breathe. The nurse will be with you every hour to check on you. The nurse will be with you every hour to check on you. The current state of the economy is uncertain. The current state of the economy is uncertain. Is my husband a cook? Is my husband a cook? I won't know after 2 years. I won't know after 2 years. Won't be defeated. Won't be defeated. For the most part, everyone agreed with the plan. For the most part, everyone agreed with the plan. We must continue. We must continue. Can he train for 10 years? Can he train for 10 years? We also accept mobile payments. We also accept mobile payments. They get fit 5 hours ago. They get fit 5 hours ago. Announced. Announced. He shouldn't be a sportscaster every week. He shouldn't be a sportscaster every week. He goes to church on Sundays. He goes to church on Sundays. They confessed at night. They confessed at night. They slept 8 hours last night. They slept 8 hours last night. Should they complain often? Should they complain often? Is it normal to check? Is it normal to check? I'm in the room at the end of the stairs. I'm in the room at the end of the stairs. Do I ever research? Do I ever research? I have a pain in my side. I have a pain in my side. His brothers were actors. His brothers were actors. We could judge every day. We could judge every day. Doesn't he kick? Doesn't he kick? I have an advice for you. I have an advice for you. Can I explain at noon? Can I explain at noon? I'm a little tired. I'm a little tired. Can I have your attention for a minute? Can I have your attention for a minute? Can you lend me your pen? Can you lend me your pen? You can race. You can race. His grandfather is a geologist. His grandfather is a geologist. Sometimes you just can't survive. Sometimes you just can't survive. Is our stepson the bailiff? Is our stepson the bailiff? By the end of the year, I will have visited 5 different countries. By the end of the year, I will have visited 5 different countries. You right. You right. Our senior team is very experienced. Our senior team is very experienced. It will not be renewed after 4 centuries. It will not be renewed after 4 centuries. You should rarely stop. You should rarely stop. Weren't they? Weren't they? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Anything can happen in the future. Anything can happen in the future. They can be librarians at noon. They can be librarians at noon. Shall we go to the grocery store at noon? Shall we go to the grocery store at noon? What is your favorite sport? What is your favorite sport? He moved. He moved. Her mother-in-law was an aviator. Her mother-in-law was an aviator. Does he have to jump later at 3 a.m.? Does he have to jump later at 3 a.m.? He wrote at noon. He wrote at noon. We did not visit. We did not visit. Wouldn't he win? Wouldn't he win? His friends are opticians. His friends are opticians. She wouldn't cry for a week. She wouldn't cry for a week. Are published monthly. Are published monthly. Was not suspicious. Was not suspicious. Does he have a sheriff every month? Does he have a sheriff every month? Don't you hit. Don't you hit. Become a receptionist after 2 days? Become a receptionist after 2 days? I can connect. I can connect. Was his friend a pie player? Was his friend a pie player? Truck driver after 4 nights? Truck driver after 4 nights? I felt refreshed and energetic after the workout. I felt refreshed and energetic after the workout. Her sister was a model. Her sister was a model. You can save soon. You can save soon. I sat there for hours, letting the world around me disappear. I sat there for hours, letting the world around me disappear. Was her grandmother a guard? Was her grandmother a guard? My son is a consultant. My son is a consultant. Was our mother an art director? Was our mother an art director? Not installer after 1 night? Not installer after 1 night? I couldn't deal. I couldn't deal. Can deny. Can deny. Eggs are delicious. Eggs are delicious. Can't you suppress? Can't you suppress? Your nephew is a lawyer. Your nephew is a lawyer. He goes to the beach to relax. He goes to the beach to relax. Then I limit. Then I limit. Was my brother an artist? Was my brother an artist? Your grandpa is the babysitter. Your grandpa is the babysitter. He watches the birds in the park. He watches the birds in the park. The weather was clear after the storm. The weather was clear after the storm. Not often a drummer. Not often a drummer. I'm so excited to decorate the house for Christmas. I can't wait to get started. I'm so excited to decorate the house for Christmas. I can't wait to get started. Don't I shoot every week? Don't I shoot every week? I don't want to lose my meanness. I don't want to lose my meanness. I may have to work over the weekend to finish this report. I may have to work over the weekend to finish this report. I must not forget to call my grandmother on her birthday. I must not forget to call my grandmother on her birthday. Can you help me with this? Can you help me with this? Have we taught in 5 seconds before? Have we taught in 5 seconds before? Wasn't I a judge 2 years ago? Wasn't I a judge 2 years ago? Your husband was a physicist. Your husband was a physicist. Would reach out. Would reach out. They won't notice at noon. They won't notice at noon. Are you a cop soon? Are you a cop soon? I have a lot of insight. I have a lot of insight. I won't go out unless the sun is shining. I won't go out unless the sun is shining. He was previously a banker. He was previously a banker. You will apply to graduate school next semester. You will apply to graduate school next semester. Can't I cry later? Can't I cry later? Cannot be derived after 1 second. Cannot be derived after 1 second. Won't we be connecting? Won't we be connecting? I need to put eye drops in my eyes. I need to put eye drops in my eyes. All the plants in my garden have bloomed. All the plants in my garden have bloomed. Your half-brother is a shoemaker. Your half-brother is a shoemaker. He was injured 4 hours ago. He was injured 4 hours ago. He studied for his exam. He studied for his exam. Don't I fly often? Don't I fly often? Could he be an officer before? Could he be an officer before? My grandfather was a founder. My grandfather was a founder. Your stepdaughter is a pediatrician. Your stepdaughter is a pediatrician. After a century, shall we not race car drivers? After a century, shall we not race car drivers? Can you manage 2 weeks? Can you manage 2 weeks? They are playing ball outside. They are playing ball outside. Usually does not reproduce. Usually does not reproduce. Should he answer? Should he answer? Can he become a player after 5 days? Can he become a player after 5 days? I can't wait until dawn. I can't wait until dawn. Will it serve every day? Will it serve every day? I will take a deep breath. I will take a deep breath. Yes, we have a shuttle to the airport. Yes, we have a shuttle to the airport. I'm going to the grocery store to buy food for my dog. I'm going to the grocery store to buy food for my dog. Can you win in the nighttime? Can you win in the nighttime? Our meals are cooked to order and are always fresh. Our meals are cooked to order and are always fresh. Don't you always have to insist? Don't you always have to insist? He will play in the championship game next week. He will play in the championship game next week. Takes 2 weeks. Takes 2 weeks. I'm not sure if this will work, but I'll try. I'm not sure if this will work, but I'll try. Count the last year. Count the last year. The team's challenge is to win the championship. The team's challenge is to win the championship. Will it be mining in a minute? Will it be mining in a minute? Haven't I denied it before? Haven't I denied it before? Yes, we have a small gym. Yes, we have a small gym. The door was locked and I couldn't get in. The door was locked and I couldn't get in. Couldn't we see? Couldn't we see? Can clean. Can clean. We should play every month. We should play every month. We rented a cottage by the lake for our vacation. We rented a cottage by the lake for our vacation. Didn't he run often? Didn't he run often? Isn't it launderer then? Isn't it launderer then? Will I be injured? Will I be injured? Your half-brother is the postman. Your half-brother is the postman. Can't visit often? Can't visit often? You can become a monk right away. You can become a monk right away. Should you be bartending now? Should you be bartending now? You lock. You lock. Can you evaluate? Can you evaluate? Avoid strenuous activities for the next few days. Avoid strenuous activities for the next few days. He wasn't cold. He wasn't cold. The shuttle departs to the airport at 7 a.m. The shuttle departs to the airport at 7 a.m. I'm going to the dentist. I'm going to the dentist. Even though it's hot outside, I still plan to go swimming. Even though it's hot outside, I still plan to go swimming. I have to divorce. I have to divorce. Will not be selected every week. Will not be selected every week. Shouldn't she be the receptionist right away? Shouldn't she be the receptionist right away? The mayor then. The mayor then. Should call every year. Should call every year. Her husband is a lawyer. Her husband is a lawyer. Is common. Is common. May I have your boarding pass, please? May I have your boarding pass, please? Our aunt was a botanist. Our aunt was a botanist. Cannot announce after 5 seconds. Cannot announce after 5 seconds.